Hello and welcome to the Strategy, Sales and System podcast. I'm Dani Louise Smith. I am a business coach, podcaster, speaker, best-selling author, and I have been sharing with you my chapters of my best-selling book, Business Fundamentals, towards the end of 2025, and now I'm here sharing with you the next chapter. Now, I've got a little thing I need to share with you today for this episode. I am going to read direct from the book. The reason that I'm doing this is because when I was doing the manuscript for the book and I was writing it, it was really challenging because basically the formatting that I used was Google Drive and the formatting that my editor used was Word document, and I just couldn't for the life of me figure out the Word document version. And yes, I know you can just upload and blah blah blah, but it's just loads of text. It's one document thrown in and I can't find where I am. I can't follow it really well. And I want to add my comments in as I read through as well. And so today I decided I'm just going to read from the book. So I might not be looking at camera, which I know it's not great. We should be providing eye contact as you're watching, as you're listening to this. However, I don't think it matters that much as long as you're getting the content. So today's section we are going into is the planning and preparation section. So it's like one of my most favourite things, and this is chapter 3. So the first section is all about your product suite, marketing and product suite and marketing mapping. Okay, let's get right in. Now we've done the mindset work and goals work, let's get down to business. Here lies the biggest challenge business owners face, either having so many ideas and wanting to do them all or not knowing where to begin. It's so common and you're not alone, but the reality is you just cannot do everything at once, so here's where to begin. I love a good brainstorm. Get your paper and coloured pens. If you're creative like me, this is I'm tongue-tied already. This is exactly how you will do it, starting writing every product idea you've ever had. Write everything that you ever thought of selling. Although you won't do all of these right now, it's useful for forward thinking. When I wrote out my product suite in 2023, I discovered that I had a huge gap. I offered loads of free stuff, some high ticket offers, and one low ticket, but nothing in between. In my product suite, low ticket is anything under £49 and high ticket is anything £1,000 plus. For you, it may be higher or lower depending on your business and price range. In between both low and high ticket, I call this the mid-range. It's an opportunity for others to have access to you that doesn't offer as much as your one-to-one service might. Things such as masterclasses or downloads. Now you may come up stuck if you're a new business with only one service and it's low ticket. So I want to support you to think outside of the box. For example, I had a client who was launching a children's book. Very new to business world, it was her first and only product. Other than the collaboration book she had been part of, how could she build a product suite? And so here are the questions that I asked. What skills do you have that you could teach? What knowledge do you have that you could offer to your customers? And what problems could you help solve? Once answering these, it became very clear what could be offered to provide a selection of offers at different price points. She had writing skills, which could be taught in the form of a course, which became her mid-range offer, but also available as one-to-one offer as well. She had knowledge of writing and publishing a children's book, so she added a masterclass for this to her product suite. The problem solved with her original product was bringing families together during a busy lifestyle, so they had quality time, which is where her children's books came in as a low-ticket offer. Answer these questions for yourself and see what ideas you generate whilst you brainstorm. I always take at least 3 to 5 of my offers and map them out onto my product suite triangle so you can clearly see what I'm offering for the year ahead. And I actually can show you this triangle with you if you're watching on YouTube. And this is what it looks like. So it's just a triangle and you have your high ticket at the top of the triangle, and the reason it's at the point of the triangle is because there was less people that are going to access this, and then you have your mid-range in the middle, your low ticket, and I put my freebies at the bottom of my triangle as well. So that you can clearly see the pathway as people come to work with you. So like I like to think as the freebies as the starting point, and then they can work their way through your offers. Some people might just jump straight in at one-to-one. Some people might jump in at mid-range. Everybody's different, but it's just a visual way of being able to see what your service suite and map it out and what that looks like. Okay, back to the chapter. Once I decide on exactly what I'm going to be selling, I then plan for what I'm going to sell throughout the year. Example, January I may focus on a low ticket offer, February a group course, and March a high ticket. Here is an example of one of my plans. Okay, so I have got photocopied in there one of my plans. I call this my service map for the year. And basically, this is a blank version. It's just a grid with each day of the month on it, and you map out what you're going to market throughout the year. I'm redesigning my planner, and I'm currently building something called the Boss Academy. So BOSS stands for Build, Organise, Sell and Scale. So it's designed to suit entrepreneurs through every step of the journey, and it offers live support. I'm not going to pitch that to you right now, but in there I am creating a planner that works off the basis of what I teach in this book, so that people can actually go into it and plan it out and tweak and refine what's going to happen and get strategic. So watch this space, because not only will I offer it to my clients in the academy, but I will be selling it as well. So watch this space. I do currently have planners available, but they're not as great as what I'm about to create. Anyway, back to the chapter. So it helps to have clarity around what you're selling when creating a map of direction that you can use to support your overall goals and stay organised with. A lot of business owners don't like to do this in favour of restrictions, but I'll let you know a secret. This is your business, and you can change your plan at any time. In fact, you'll see from my own plan that Tipex was used as I changed my focus with a particular service I was offering. I eliminated it from my product suite because I wasn't aligned with it anymore, and it's so important to connect with what you're selling. If the offers you're creating are something you can be excited about, then you're more likely to get greater results. So keep this in mind when you're mapping out what you'll be marketing over the year. I want to share a story with you of the first service I ever launched with this business, and exactly how it was so successful straight away. Because I often see business owners get an idea, create it, launch it, and nobody buys, so they feel disheartened. My first ever service as a mentor and coach was an affordable £15 membership. On day one, I welcomed 5 clients. It was amazing, as I had literally launched my business that exact day, on the 15th of January 2021. I had no big email list or active Facebook group. I just planned a month before to advertise a 5-day challenge. I delivered it, and on that launch day I attracted my first client just seconds after my first email went out. Here's the thing, on the outside it looked really successful. It's rare to launch a brand new business and welcome in 5 paying clients straight away. I want to share the real truth behind how that happened. The keepsakes business that I had been wildly successful the year before, and I had been connecting with creative business owners that whole time, networking and building awareness of who I am. Although I was very new, launching as a creative business coach, my network, seeing the success I had in my own creative business, generated enough credibility and trust built for people to pay me to work with me. Although my actual plan and work only took 1 month, I had actually been building a ready-made audience for years without knowing it. So the next time you create an offer and the result isn't quite what you wanted, remember this. It takes time to nail your offer, to connect with the ideal clients, build your network, and build the like, know and trust factor with those people. From that day on, I then became a business mentor and coach. Okay, let's get into the next section. Planning to plan and productive intentions. This one thing was a game changer for my planning and productivity, and that was planning to plan. The thing is, most business owners don't have time to plan, and that's why they're not doing it. The first thing I want you to do here is eliminate the excuse that you don't have time. Instead, let's look at making the time. When it comes to time management and productivity, it's always about priority rather than the reality being that you don't have time. I see this coming up all the time for my clients and audience, and I have a question to ask you though. Do your goals and dreams matter enough for you to prioritise what you need to do for them to succeed? So do your goals and dreams matter enough to you for you to prioritise what you need to do for them to succeed? Let's face it, you're more than likely not achieving if you're not leading with what you want, which is why a whole chapter of this book was dedicated to clarity and goals and talked a lot about time and excuses in chapter 2. And I just want to put a little shameless plug in here. A lot of business owners they either don't plan in the time to plan, So like I plan in time to plan, like every Monday I plan for my week ahead, every month I plan for the month ahead, every quarter, every year, and you get the idea, right? But there's one type of person, the person that doesn't plan it in at all. The second type of person is the person that plans it in but doesn't actually stick to it. They put the time in the diary but then they don't action it, they don't do it. And so I wanted to solve this problem, and this is why the business academy that I'm building has these exact sessions in it. It has planning sessions so we can work on your strategy together, because you're more likely to do it, execute it and stick to it and be held accountable if you're doing it with someone like me, a business coach who knows what she's talking about. So I just want to plant that seed in there for you. Okay, let's keep going. It's time to start prioritising the things that will move your business forward. Planning is something I love to do, and I know that it doesn't come naturally to everyone, and that's okay. Okay, you just need to find a way that works for you. When I first discovered time management, it was all about time blocking every 30 minutes, and that's less than ideal or suitable for everyone. So your first to do is to decide when you're going to plan. When are you planning and setting goals? And when are you planning your actions? You absolutely need to find your own way, but I will share my exact method of planning with you. So the first one is I spend time each month planning my goals, action and strategy. I include my mastermind clients in this too. This has actually changed now. It's my academy clients, but my mastermind clients get access to this for free as an amazing bonus. Number 2, I spend time each month planning my content. Again, we now do that in the academy. Number 3, I spend time each week revising where I'm at, recent wins, and then plan my actions for the week ahead. Now, we don't have a session for this in the academy because people still need time to work on the business. However, we do have a check-in point every Monday where I do this with you guys in a WhatsApp chat. And number 4, I spend time daily revising my day ahead and setting intentions. And everyone can do this. Revise what you're meant to be doing today and set intentions. So I just want to recap those 4 things that I do, my exact method of planning. So number 1, I spend time each month planning my goals, actions and strategy, and I include my clients in this too. Number 2, I spend time each month planning my content. Number 3, I spend time each week revising where I'm at, recent wins, and then plan my actions for the week ahead. And number 4, I spend time daily revising my day ahead and setting intentions. It's a lot of planning, but it works for me. The key though is to plan, but ensure you're also acting on those plans too. I know that some entrepreneurs find this a challenge, especially those with ADHD, and time blocking is often the go-to recommendation for anyone finding the time management a difficulty. I believe that time blocking doesn't work for everyone. Sometimes it does work for me, then I get bored or overwhelmed and it doesn't, and so I adapted based on this, tried and tested myself, and now explore my ideas with clients. If you find time blocking by hourly increments difficult, then this next tip is for you. I always recommend instead to block a focus per day, and so it becomes easier to take the required action as it feels less overwhelming than hourly increments set out over the day. Let's also talk about productive intentions. Backtracking to those goals you were setting and getting clear on in chapter 2. Ask yourself, are you really taking productive action that's aligned with making those goals happen? Being productive is achieving a significant amount or result. This only happens when you are clear on the actions you need to take. When I started my first business, I wasted a lot of time staring blankly at my phone every day, trying to materialise content to share on my pages. I had no idea at all what to say or do, and sometimes not only did I waste time, but I then skipped doing it, took no action, and here lies inconsistency. This wasn't getting results. What happens when you wing it is less focus, lack of strategic action, and the energy behind it impacts the result. I understand that in this case, you can't be intentional with content if you don't know what to say and post. The thing about this is, you can learn. I did learn eventually, and time you find yourself in a mind block. Anytime, I can't even read my own book. Anytime you find yourself in a mind block, unable to take action and procrastinating through lack of clarity, go and learn a thing and then implement the thing. You can do a lot of this for free or at low cost in books like this. Once you know what you need to do, you can be more intentional and as a result, more productive with your time. Often lack of productivity is presented via procrastination, and as a result of fear and anxiety, often present with ADHD. I have certainly been no stranger to this. The more clarity you have and coping strategies implemented, the easier it becomes to eliminate overwhelm and those recurring bouts of fear and anxiety that lead to procrastination. I also just want to say, this is very much a book that you can sit and work through and take action and implement based on what the chapters say. My photographer has been reading this for over a year because she's really going in depth with it, and she is taking the actions. And I know some people don't like to deface a book, but I love when I get a book like this that you can take practical action with. I love getting highlighters out, I love getting my pens and just writing things in and really highlighting important sections to go back through. I've done this with some of my favourite books, and it's made a massive difference because I can flick through and I can just redo the tasks without reading the whole thing. So that's a little tip for you. Okay, back to it. When I became a business mentor, I was also a keepsake maker with a book full of orders. I was running popular networking events in person and holding down a 16-hour part-time job at our local hospital, plus 10 hours per week travelling time. I had to master my time in order for all of this to work and be profitable around my family life. I don't recommend having 4 jobs, but we were desperate for money, hence the employed work, and I was passionate about my businesses. I would have never succeeded if I hadn't organised my plans on a weekly basis. In 2021, I set a goal to leave my part-time job, and that happened because I was able to make my new mentoring and coaching business profitable and was brave enough to take the action and leave my job, that is. It was a lot to handle, but through planning my working day efficiently, I was able to maintain making over 10 memory bears per week, working with clients on their businesses and running networking events. I was running 3 active online Facebook group communities and profiting from them all. Nothing is impossible if you're passionate about what you do. It truly aligns with you and you have a plan. Okay, sort your schedule. One of the most challenging things about entrepreneurship versus an employed job role is that nobody tells you how to use your time. When you have a job, you know how you're spending your shift and the action you need to take. Let this be said that if you're currently winging it, then I want that to change from this point on. I'm going to be honest with you, if you continue to wing it and don't intend to plan at all, then you may as well throw this book in the bin. I don't mess around when it comes to business planning, as I know how powerful it is. I'm proof of how powerful it is, and the most highly successful businesses have a plan. What I'm not stating though is that a plan is set in stone and midway you cannot adjust and pivot, because you absolutely can, and sometimes it's needed. I'm guessing you picked up this book, or you watched this episode, to help be more organised and not just dance around the idea, right? Yes? Great. Now let's really start making a difference. I just want to put a little note in here, right? So there are a lot of people that do wing it and they are successful, but in my opinion, winging it only works for so long. And this is because if you succeed in business but you've got no strategies behind the scenes, you've got no management methods and systems in place, you're then going to get to a point where you've got too many people to handle, too many things to carry, too many balls to juggle, and it can actually break your business down. And I have seen this happen so many times. And so this is where using planning methods and strategy, but also using your intuition and winging it a little bit, works together. Excuse me, I don't edit these episodes, so I do apologise. My 3 o'clock alarm just went off and I just had a little tickle in my throat, so I am going to need a drink. Let's go back to it. So on your schedule, I want you to visualise your dream schedule. I know that for you, it may be a long way off yet, whilst you're still tied to a 9 to 5, or your children are young. I totally get this. My children are aged 10 and under at the time of writing this book. So school runs are a non-negotiable part of my own schedule, and of course, my dream isn't to be doing school runs. Realistically, I could outsource them, but I also know that I don't want to, and I love to be there for that part of the day for my children, even though it's often, daily, quite stressful. For many years, my son has had challenging behaviour and leading to consistent school exclusions. Not one part of this is my dream, but it is life. I accept it and know that it has an impact on my dream schedule. This is just one of many factors that will adapt your dream. Once you have mapped out that dream schedule, adjust it based on your current needs. One example might be that your dream schedule is working 4 hours a day on your business, but you currently have an employed job. That's okay. You can create your dream schedule and your for now schedule, with your aim to work towards building your dream schedule with small changes. Okay, so let's get practical about what your dream schedule needs to include. Here are some steps and ideas to map out your dream schedule. Number 1, brainstorm everything you need to do to run a business, a home, work your job, be a parent or care for your pet or loved ones, and don't forget yourself. Number 2, take note of the things you're currently not doing that you would like to do. For me, it was writing this book. And I just want to interrupt myself here, and I want to say that another part of this for me, which I never thought would be possible, is I wanted to dance. And I'm now at a point in my life where, because obviously I've grown, this was published over a year ago, and I've grown so much since then and improved so much since then with the steps that are in this book, to the point that I get to run 2 businesses, because I've also launched another business since this book. I get to run both those 2 businesses, and I also get to do the hobbies that I love outside of, I love my business, absolutely love them, but I get to do hobbies outside of them, such as go swimming every week, go to dance classes every week, work on my health by doing strength training exercises, or recently I'm putting in the habit of going walking every morning, because apparently that helps. And so I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the things I want to do to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, or just to enjoy life. And I find that so important. But most people don't fit it all in because they just believe they don't have time. And actually, it's just about strategically planning to make it, like, prioritise it. Make it a priority for you if you want to do it. So I just wanted to add that in. Okay, step 3. Aside from each of your tasks on your brainstorm, allocate a time and frequency. So how much time does the task take, and how frequently do you need to do it? I prioritise exercise, as it's important to work on your health, self-care such as hair care, skincare, or doing something that aids my mindset growth related that helps me release stagnant energy and makes me feel good, often creative activities that I enjoy doing and feel the desire to do. Here are some examples of things on my list. School run is 30 minutes at 8:30am and 3pm Monday to Friday, and that is a non-negotiable. Content creation 3 hours on Monday, weekly. I do this, and this is a business task. Bookkeeping 1 hour monthly, which is my business and finances. And then at the time of this, I was doing Zumba. Zumba 3 hours that included travel weekly on a Monday, and this was exercise, self-care, and something I desired to do. I was never consistent at that. I'm going to be real honest when I was writing this book. Monday evenings just didn't work for me. Now that you have an idea of what your dream schedule could start to look like, start to create it. I recommend a visual that you can see and use every week as you plan out your week ahead. I use it on a Sunday to reference where I'm spending my time, and I love to colour code mine too. So I have got a little example inside the book. So I've got like an example of what your weekly schedule could look like inside your calendar, and then I've got a little section where you can see how it's mapped out, like your weekly notes. And then I've got blanks for you to use as a template and fill in. Okay, let's keep going. When you start implementing your new schedule, recognise how it feels for you. When I had those 4 jobs, I was sleeping away my weekends from being so exhausted and burned out. It's not attainable, and I see way too many business owners falling into the trap of not managing time well, always chasing their tail and overworking, leading to the exact same situation that I was in. In 2021, I handed in my notice at work, and the instant freedom I felt with having an additional 26 hours per week was amazing. It felt so good, but as I was used to working so much, I fell into the trap of filling every space inside my diary and overworking again, especially once my kids were back in school after summer. At that moment in time, I set a goal to have a mid-week day off and only work 4 days per week. My schedule wasn't working with me, instead it worked against me. I was juggling 2 businesses after all. I made adaptations and created set days where I would work on each business. Mondays were for making, and I would be sewing loads of bears for my families across the UK. And Tuesdays were my catch-up days, where I would pick up any overflow for each business, and Thursdays and Fridays became my client days. I arranged the networking events around this new schedule, and it was working really, really well until it wasn't. Yes, okay. And then we've got preparation and practical steps. For this last section of this chapter, I'd like to review what I have covered with you and give you a checklist. I'm creating this to keep you moving forward after all. Your checklist. Brainstorm the services you could offer. Plan out your product suite. Create a marketing map. Plan in the time to plan. And then create your dream schedule and your for now schedule. Another handy tool is my phone alarms. I use these to remind me of activities that take the extra push, such as interrupting a hyper-focus work task at 3 p.m. so I can go do the school run. That was the alarm that interrupted me today, but my children are not actually in school because unfortunately their heating was broken, so they haven't been in. So I just forgot to turn it off. With my own challenges with hyper-focus, potentially undiagnosed ADHD, I am now actually diagnosed. Restricting time limits on tasks to keep focus and having alarms and reminders is effective because I get very distracted by noises, movement and interruption, whilst also finding sitting in one spot a challenge. It's quite a position. I can't even say it. Just a position. I think that's right. Basically, it's just a shit show. You know, being the kind of person that likes to sit and focus but then also struggles to sit still and focus. So this can bring me to overwhelm and procrastination. So finding coping strategies has been a godsend. Product suite and different offers at different entry points so that there is a way to work with you at different levels is super important for a sustainable income. Take note though, if you had lots of amazing ideas that didn't make it onto your product suite for this year, then keep them saved for later. The marketing map to ensure you are utilising and setting yourself up to market your services in the best way possible. For you, having a clear direction aligned with your overall financial goals could contribute to the celebration of achieving them. Planning. At this point, you should know that how essential I believe this is. If you're screaming at me all the excuses because you cannot right now, go back to chapter 1. You need to work on your mindset and take action. Now that you've done some planning, I don't want you to forget about it. Anything that is a recurring task, you can set reminders for. I personally use Google Calendar and have everything in there. I especially love that on Tuesdays in my ad hoc block, I can add a checklist in the description of the event I have set up, so each week I have productive intentions. Enjoy implementing your new organisational planning methods, but tweak as needed. Top tip, plan in some time to read the rest of the book and implement the tasks. You will thank me for this later. I'm going to interrupt myself again. So I actually don't just use my Google Calendar. I now also have a project management system in place. I use Basecamp, and this started because I took on a team and I needed to be able to keep up with myself and with them and what everybody was doing. So I love Basecamp. It's not a free tool, but it's literally, I think £12 a month I pay. Oh, I pay more because I have a team now, but you can pay like £12 a month and it is worth it, trust me. So have a look at that. Okay, let's get back in. We're nearly at the end. So by this point, achieving the goal of leaving my job as organised as I had become with my time, I felt out of alignment with all the work I was doing. Although my businesses were both in profit, I was spending and investing a lot of money. Over £10,000 a year on training, coaching and development, and a lot of time working long days with 6 a.m. starts and 11 p.m. finishes. I invested in my first ever mastermind, a 2,000 plus mastermind, which was big and scary. I had never paid so much money to work with a business coach and a group of strangers before. Those strangers would very quickly become friends, and even to this day, I work with some of them within my business. In that group, I formed a business bestie relationship with Fiona Green, who is now my copywriter and the expert sales copy coach inside my mastermind. I met Gemma Holden, Mrs. Mindset, who is also an expert mindset coach inside my mastermind. I actually don't run this mastermind anymore, but I love both those people and still connect with them regularly. I formed a stronger relationship with Carly Murphy, who at the time was my manifestation coach, and these days she is my tech expert, dealing with everything tech behind the scenes of my business. And she still is. She's my longest team member. I absolutely love her. Everyone needs a Carly. She also does event management for innovation celebration events as well. I met many amazing women I have connected with and worked in many ways, and inspired me to set a goal to leave my employed job. The reality was I was making a lot of money but spending it rapidly and racking up debt, although I didn't need to because I was earning a lot. Looking back, I realised I couldn't handle all the money and how busy I had become. The burnout was weekly. It was making me regularly ill, especially I was doing all the mindset work but nothing physical to help my body. 2 years into full-time self-employment, I started realising the build-up of stress, teamed with the guilt of wanting to quit. If I gave up on something I had done for so long, I felt like I had failed, but the truth was that I wasn't aligned with my first business anymore. I was making a lot of money with a high demand and great reputation, but prices of supplies went up, it was time consuming, and a lot of people didn't value or appreciate the skill and time of handmade work. In June 2023, exactly 2 years after handing in my notice in my last employed job, I announced the closure of Dani Keepsakes and that I would be focusing on mentoring full time. It was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make after 10 years of work, but the keepsake business was a huge part of my journey. I learned a lot and love that it took me to where I am now. I found a passion for running a service-based business, and this alignment means everything. You have to love what you do fully, otherwise the lack of passion and ease around it will continue to bring up blocks within your mind, body and soul. And that is chapter 3. I'd love to invite you to come and join me for Branding Buster, which is chapter 4, and if you want to get this book on Amazon, it's literally so cheap. It's like $11.99 for the hard copy. No, this is not hard copy. I don't do a hard copy. For this kind of copy, or you can get it on Kindle, slightly cheaper. It just means that you can keep a copy and really work through the tasks. And also, I'd love to invite you to come and join me in the Boss Academy if you would like to come and work with me, because we can put this together in real time. We can take it a few steps further. We could go deep dive into your business, and I'd love to support you. I've got a request as well. I'm about to start a live series with business guests called Growing Through It, and I would love for you to reach out it's a new email because my business has had a little bit of a rebrand, and I will do an episode on this, but reach out at hello@danilouisesmith.co.uk and let me know the topic that you would love to see me talk about, or questions you'd like me to answer on the Strategy, Sales and System podcast, or on the Growing Through It live stream series. And I will absolutely consider it and take note of it, because I'd love to give you the content that you want to see and you want to hear. Okay, I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time for another episode where I read chapter 4 of my book. Bye for now.